Smith and Wesson, it's not a really high quality knife, but it's not made in China. It's made in Taiwan, and it's usually the Taiwanese make some pretty good stuff. You know, it's sort of like Japanese quality. Really, it's pretty damn good. This is an assisted opening knife, but they got some kind of proprietary technology whereby you would think it's an automatic push button knife, but it does have a safety on it, and it's got a very good safety. You can see when you push it down, just like on an ordinary switchblade, you know, it's up is on safe, down is on off, you know, and it's got the clip. Another thing, and the way the handle's molded, it's solid aluminum, and it's got like sort of like finger grips in a way. But just since you're actually not pressing a button on a handle to actuate it, it's not a switchblade, okay? Anyway, like you know, that's a technicality that, you know, in some states it's a problem, right? You know, although I don't know what the problem would be, you know, in a normal common sense way, but in a legal sense, you know, if you have a knife that opens with a button on a handle, it's called a switchblade. If it's actuated by the blade itself, it's not a switchblade. This is an assisted opener, but it's a very, very, very good assisted opener, and it's a liner lock, but the liner lock goes right smack in the middle. You can see that, you know. That's another thing. And I noticed if you have the if you lock this open, and you want to make sure it's locked open, if you push the safety up, you can't get the liner lock off all the way to get it, you know, closed. Now, the other thing is, I like the serrated edge knives because not some kind of looks or it's commando-ish or something. I actually work on cars and stuff. And if you're cutting a rubber hose, like you're using you're putting some fuel line in or heater hose or whatever, vacuum line would cut it easy because it's small, but say it's a thicker hose, the serrated edge cuts the rubber hose much easier. If you're working with zip ties, especially the real thick ones are very hard to cut with this regular ordinary edge. The serrated edge cuts them real easy. The other thing is, when I'm wiring, and I said this on other videos, I don't even use the professional wiring stripping tools. I strip the wires with the little groove that's in the serrated edge. So, you know, I work on, you know, this is my Suzuki SJ413 Jimny. It's like a Samurai. I had this thing for 31 years, and, you know, do all my own work, right? And this isn't one of the tools that I use to fix engines with or whatever, you know, anything, right? Now, this knife, you know, what I like about it, though, the clip is staked down really good, right? It's got some heft to it. Like, this handle is aluminum. It's not resin. It's real strong. And it's got, you know, the lanyard hole in it. It's built really strong. It's built like a tank for what it is. I don't know what it cost. I forgot what it cost. You know, I don't even want to say the price. You know? The other thing is, you know, what is the brand name on this thing? It's, you know, it's kind of easy to remember in some ways. It's SW, as in Smith and Wesson, then BLOP, as in Black Op. So SWBLOP 3TS, 3 Tango Sierra. That's the model number. But, you know, the other thing is, though, you know, say for instance you're in a state where they don't allow switchblades, but they allow assisted opening knives. You know, unfortunately, you know, it bugs me the hell out of me is because, you know, the guy that's, you know, just make sure you have, you know, you're like using it for mechanical purposes or woodsman's purposes or whatever, because somebody's doesn't have knowledge in knives, they'll think this is a automatic knife. This is an assisted opening knife because you're actually pressing. It's a patented process. It's a patented mechanism by Smith and Wesson, and that's what I like about it. You know, it's more solid than an ordinary switchblade. It works just like a switchblade. It's got a clip unlike a switchblade. It's got the Tonto type point, which is strong. And sometimes, you know, I like the Tonto points. You know, they're a little weird to sharpen, but, you know, better than the clip points because they're a little beefy. It's got your little thumb thing up here on the top. And it's not an expensive knife. I know there's a few knives out from China, per se, you know, the mainland China, that aren't actually bad. They're pretty good. And, yeah, I got K-bars. You know, I got USA stuff too. But, you know, I don't like carrying that stuff, for one, because if I lose it, it's going to piss me off big time, you know? If I drop, I don't know. You know, a lot of times I carry the knives on my boots, right? Or, like right here, I got one here, right? This is a little knife, you know. It's on this smaller boot, whatever, ankle length thing. And if I lose them, I never have. But if I lose an expensive $80, $100 knife, $150 knife, I'm going to be pissed off. If I lose a $20, $30 knife or a $7 knife, I saw a couple knives by Tac Force that I got as cheap as $7. There's a couple of the ones by Tac Force that are actually very good. Most of the stuff by Tac Force is not that good, you know. Pretty cheap stuff, but some of them are actually pretty good. But this one by Smith & Wesson, even though they ship their manufacturing overseas, you know, Taiwanese knives are pretty good. Knife Tech makes some pretty good stuff. But, you know, I don't play, you know, I know the marketing name on this is Commando or something, or Black Ops or some garbage, you know. I could care less about, you know, well, it's Smith & Wesson, right? But I use it for, and I know more other people probably using it more for woodsman's purposes, but, you know, I use it mainly for just doing, you know, a lot of different things. Like a lot of stuff on cars, man. I do a lot of stuff. A lot of times, you know, even like scraping corrosion off of electrical terminals. Knife right here, you know. I do it. I use it all the time. That's why I like to have it on my boot, because it's not a defensive thing. I guess it could be, you know, in an event if you ever needed it. But I'm not even thinking that way. I'm thinking of it as a handyman tool, mechanic's tool. And, you know, the serrated edge, like I said, that's got a lot of uses. You know, which unfortunately, in some states, I don't know, like I think New Jersey, one of the worst states in the world, which I'm from originally, which I'm not in now, I haven't been there for many decades, you know, they look at that as dangerous knife. You know, I mean, it's not illegal to own it, but they would say, you know, they got real vague laws. You know, it's like, you know, the serrated edge, man. You know, actually, why did he even have serrated edges on the kitchen knives? You know, they cut better, right? You know, what the heck, right? But you know, if you're carrying one, I mean, God, I mean, I don't know. It's a good knife to even have in your mechanic's toolbox. But, whatever. Actually, I have in this Suzuki, you can see the flashlight up there. You can't see on this side, but on the same side over there, I got a knife hanging up inside. Just like I got the angle flashlight. So I keep one in there. And I keep, like, tools. And even got a little solar charger for my battery. And, you know, come along, you know, ratchet puller, chain, you know, battery cables, sleeping bag, you know, and I got the knife too, you know, and I think I got a little tiny mini axe or something, and a fire starter, and a tire pump. But, you know, the drama around knives is ridiculous beyond belief. It's disgusts the hell out of me. But this, you know, it's kind of like, you know, because even when I make these videos, it's like, you know, hey, you made a knife video, whatever. What I do, make a hammer video, a pair of pliers video, it's a tool, damn it, you know. But this one, you see, the reason I really like the assisted opener or the push button automatic, this is like very close to an automatic, but it's not an automatic, is because a lot of times when I'm doing something, I only got one hand to grab the tool, you know. I say I had to pick up a pair of vice grips or a pair of pliers or a screwdriver, and I had to use two hands to open up the screwdriver. Wouldn't that be a pain in the butt? You know what I mean? Like you're trying to tighten something down, you're holding it, and, you go to tighten it down, you got to have two hands to open a screwdriver or whatever, right? Well, the knife, you pick it up, you need the knife for something, to cut something, you're holding something, and maybe you can't open it up with two hands because you only got one hand available. So you got the button on it, right? And this thing, when it's easy to close too. It's got the thing here where you can open it with that without using this thing too. You can open it up either way. But when it's got a very good locking mechanism. This locking mechanism very much positively engages. And it's safe. It's good, And it's very easy to disengage the locking mechanism, and then you got it locked open. If you really want to double make sure it's locked open, you push that forward. Although it's locked solid, pushing this forward makes it so you can't unlock it even when you're pressing this. And then you can be working on something with your thumb up here, doing whatever you got to do. And, I don't know. Things are. Maybe it's millennial disease or something. Generation disease. Disease. My generation, this was like, they'd be selling this stuff with a bottle of cereal, box of cereal, a box of Cracker Jacks or something. My generation, they sold, not real guns, but toy guns with a box top of, cereal, man. It's like nobody thought nothing of it. The kid go out there to gunplay. No cops shot him thinking he was a terrorist, 5-year-old kid out there with a gun playing cowboys and Indians or whatever the hell he was, or good guys or bad guys. Playing cops and robbers. No cop got out there and said, hey, but today, and what's the difference between this and a kitchen knife? Well, you could use it as a kitchen knife. I actually got a big Sicilian switchblade that I got in my kitchen that I use as a big bread slicer. And, everything else slicer, because it's easier to grab when you want to, you don't have to go in a drawer. It's hanging up over the sink. I just take that thing and I just hit the button, boom, hey, ready to go. But nobody, everything is a bunch of garbage today, But this is a good knife. Just that, maybe if you're in some crazy state like California, maybe you got to paint it rainbow colors and some crap like that, and maybe they leave you alone with this stupid thing, I mean, I don't know, right? Isn't that how the stupid places are getting? Anyway, over that. But this great knife, man, made in Taiwan, and I know it's not made in USA, but it's a lot better quality than most of the stuff coming. It's not mainland China. Taiwan's got some pretty good knives. Actually, Knife Tech is out of China. They got some pretty good stuff too. But this is very close to like an automatic knife, but it's not. And except, if somebody's looking at you, with a badge, and they'll say, they don't understand these things. They'll say, it's an automatic knife, and it's illegal. And then you'll have to go pay a lawyer thousands of dollars to fix the problem that some yo-yo couldn't figure out what it was, Because you're always wrong, right? You know how that works? In America, you're always wrong. The authorities are always right. And don't call them up. Don't call them up if your family's sick because they'll come and shoot you, because you're sick and your family thinks you're sick and they're coming to check on you. They'll probably go shoot you, you know what I mean? That kind of garbage goes, right? So anyway, nice knife. Get away from the city. If you want to own a knife, maybe it's legal to own one there, but so many idiots are living in the city. It's like, that's why I'm getting the hell out of here, man. The place got freaking crowded. But anyway, over and out. It's a good knife, man. I'm just gonna say it's one of the best ones I got, and I actually don't carry it as much for that reason. But it's not that expensive. It's not expensive. I forgot what exactly it was. It wasn't that much money. Smith & Wesson. It's BlackOps, it's called BL or SW BLOP, then 3TS, I think the model number was, Be sure of that. Yeah, S&W BLOP, BLOP, 3TS dash W. Dash W might be the color. So that's your model number. That's focusing. See that? It's kick-ass for what the hell, what it costs, and it gets around it. I shouldn't say gets around, because they'll make a law about it, When they say a knife, that your kitchen knife is already opened up, and the kitchen knife should be illegal. I mean, God, what's the matter with these people? Over now. I'm getting pissed off because, lawmakers are like more useless than roaches on the ground, man. I mean, like, what's the matter with these people? We didn't have all this garbage 150 years ago. We did fine.